This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody! In the big red letters, it's Alex, and on the white letters area, it says the Ramble. Okay, that's what it says. Okay, and we'll be here until midnight tonight. Yeah, that's how late we'll be here. Wait a minute, why? Now you see what happens? There's always something that goes wrong with my pictures. Okay, so you see how it's, well, it was making noise there for a while. Oh, there it is again. Okay, let me see here. Oh, yeah, okay, all right. Is it okay now? Is it all right? I have no. Let me just do something here, and try and there we go. Go into the filters here, and I'm gonna find the chroma key here, and I just have to adjust it. See, I adjust the chroma key. Hold on a second. I'll go to defaults. Okay. Is it better now? Oh yeah, it's much. Oh no, it's not better yet. Okay. Smoothness. No, we gotta. There we go. I think we're fine now. I think we're okay. I'll fix it later. I don't need it on this one anyway. Okay. Let me see here. Close. You know, ever since I put in this new machine, well, let me explain it to our old friend. I decided to bring Phil back tonight, and the reason is that he didn't get a really good shot yesterday, and well, I think so much of him that I want him to get a good shot. Huh? Are you there, Phil?
I'm right here.
There, and talk to me.
All right.
Yes,
Well,
see, it works. It works. See, let me explain.
I heard you on YouTube. I watched the feed for a second or two before you let me join in, and
well, the problem we had a big problem last night.
Yeah.
And the problem was that when we went on, nobody could get audio. Not necessarily from me. They could sometimes hear me, but they couldn't hear the panel.
Yeah.
Now, so I'm looking at everything over on the board over here, right, to try and correct the thing. And I'm flipping this thing and flipping that thing, and I'm getting the audio of the group. But even when I turn down all my sliders,
all the pots,
I'm still getting it. After about an hour of going back and forth on this, I suddenly say, well, let me check out Zoom. And Zoom had somehow come up with an entirely different attitude about this thing. Zoom was not going to agree with me. Zoom had changed itself from saying that the audio was coming from one thing and then it was coming from another. Does that make any sense?
And that was due to just hooking everything back up, or
well, it was due to having to. I'm still trying to do something with this video. Things drive me nuts, so I just have to absolutely fudge around with them a bit.
On your new, you must have put another picture for your background. It's got a different angle, little wider. Is that? Did you clone in another window, or is that?
No. This is a different shot. This gets all three windows.
Oh, okay.
Which is really nice because you can see outside the window there. See?
Yeah. Now, is there a reflection of something in the I see to the left window, over your right shoulder? Is there like a woman in the window, or?
No, there's a mirror there, in the middle of these two. These.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. See, I can't.
Oh, okay. I see the mirror, but in the window itself, it looks like there's a dancer or.
No, it's just a light reflecting off of one thing or another.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a nice shot. I like the angle.
Anyway, what happened last night is that the Zoom was set up wrong.
Right.
And usually what Zoom has to do is, as an output, have the panel who's talking go through the output. Well, somehow in all the installation of this new equipment, that changed. Now you see, sometimes things, it's strange, but things kind of just change. Does that make sense? They just kind of
yeah, it does. And wires get tangled. You know, I mean, I don't touch the wires under the desk, but if I ever have to move them, they're totally entangled. There's some sort of demon that gets under the desk that mixes up all the wires and tangles them.
The wires weren't a problem. I had everything set okay. And I went through everything. But I didn't think that Zoom would change anything. But apparently it did. You know, it was looking for a new whatever. So finally, when we figured that out at like 11:30 last night, you know,
I'm eager to hear about your new Mac Studio, because
by the way, none of the problems were the new Mac Studio. Okay,
right.
And none of the problems I've had, they were kind of because I installed the Mac Studio, but not because of the Mac Studio. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just that I imagine that Zoom said, "Oh, here's a new output or something, so I better move it to something else." And
it's some default or something like that.
Yeah. And then I had another thing, is a thing I use called Handbrake. This is a strange one. It's called Handbrake, and Handbrake is a program I use after the show to take what's called an MKV file and change it into an M4V file. Okay.
Wow, this is starting to get above my pay grade.
Okay, but I'm changing the type of file it is and how big those files are. Okay, I'm compressing it more.
Yeah.
And in the old thing, I just went to it and it was there and everything like that. Well, I put in this new thing and none of that works, and it's taking where before it used to take like 20 minutes to do the rendering. Okay, it used to take about 20 minutes. It was now taking 40.
Well, I was led to believe that your new studio renders things much faster than the.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I go to online just see if there's anybody griping about this thing, and there are a lot of people griping about it. Oh, Handbrake doesn't handle the new Mac chip, which is it's called the M1. Mine's an M1 Max. Okay. And I can't get it working. So then somebody said, well, there's a new Handbrake out. So I downloaded the new Handbrake, and now it's rendering what used to render in 20 minutes in 10 minutes.
That's what I figured that machine would do.
Yeah. Oh, it does some stuff amazingly fast. It is an incredible machine. I have no buyer's remorse on it at all.
Yeah. Well, with the Mac Mini that I used to have that you bought, if I slid a Lightroom slider, it took a second or two for it to render the change. On the Mac Pro, it's almost instantaneous, but it's not. And it's amazing how spoiled we get that we need that extra little bit of speed to.
Well, here's what I recommend to people. I wouldn't recommend to somebody like yourself to go get a, studio. I got it because I need that kind of power for what I do here every day. Okay.
And you do video.
Yeah.
I've never shot a video.
But I had a Mac Mini with an M1 chip in it that's damn fast. Man, it cuts a hefty rug.
A mean rug, yeah. Well, I've got a Mac Pro, the garbage can, and I'm going to run it for a while longer. I don't see any reason to get rid of it.
What I had here was a beautiful Mac monitor, 27-inch monitor, beautiful.
Oh yeah,
been using it for years and years and years, maybe 10 years old. So I decided to replace it with a new LG that I had here that's just like a 32-inch. So I got a nice big screen in front of me. Okay, the bigger the screen, you know what they say. Anyway. So I got this new screen, and I pulled the other one out and was going to move it over here. So I would have two really large screens because I have a smaller screen over here. And all of a sudden there's a line in the bottom of it. And I figured, well, maybe
it's dead pixel?
No, just a line, fuzzy, gray, line. I can't. It's a kind of a grayness that went along the bottom.
Huh.
So I figured it was because I was using an adapter. I spent like $50 trying to find the right adapter because it was one of those what they call display port things, and I had to change it to
DMI or something.
I had to change it to a new USB 3 or USB 3. I don't know. Anyway, USB-C.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it, and I got the gray line. So I went back and I hooked up my old trash can, which you just plugged right into and worked fine with. And now it had a gray line. It seems that just by removing this computer from the system, it went wonky. It just went crazy.
The display or the Mac Pro?
The display went bad. It did the same problem that it did here with the new machine with the Mac Pro, where before it had worked with the Mac Pro.
Have you ever heard of a unit called an ISO or an ISO?
What's that?
It's a monitor, and it's an IPS monitor. It renders the colors very realistic for photography. It's called an ISO.
Yeah, I got what I need.
EIZO.
I bought this monitor. It's a great monitor for like under $300. It's an LG.
Yeah,
and it's wonderful. It's high res, everything like that. And I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Go get your other thing. Or whatever.
Well, I was thinking about getting a smaller monitor because I've got a 32-inch Dell, and it's actually too big, and it makes it you can't get close enough to it, and my eyes aren't what they used to be, and
yeah.
So behind me, I got the Warrior Girls.
Oh, okay, good. Anyway, last night was a major clusterfuck, and I think tonight we're okay. Nobody's writing and saying anything like, let me see here. Nobody's writing, period.
Yeah, well, I know it's going out, and because I can see it on my phone, and that's the YouTube.
Yeah, and it looks fine. And I don't know if my face looks red all the time now.
Yeah, it could be the color balance. That webcam software that you told me to download for the camera.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't as accurate with color temperature as I would like. And are you on auto color temperature, or did you set it?
I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
Is it auto? Let me see here. What is that?
And
here, let me screw with stuff, folks, and then we'll be
all. You might as well. This is time to test.
Wait a minute. Something will come up here. Watch. I don't want. Oh no, it didn't. Okay. So here is. Let's see here. I don't put it on autofocus, and I don't have backlight compression on. And then I went to.
How about auto white balance?
Wait a minute. Let's see. Basic auto white balance. Auto exposure mode. Auto white balance. There we go. See if I turn this off. Watch, folks. Oh, really? I could change that a little bit. Then I could get rid of
and just scoot it. Yeah, there you go. Well,
wait a minute, not yet.
Yeah, it didn't stick.
Didn't stick.
Yeah.
Oh well. Let me turn.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh boy.
Well, that's what I was saying about the that
we didn't need that
particular
did we,
software.
We didn't need that, folks, did we? Okay.
I tell you, my color changed a little bit since I started using. What's the brand name of those lights that you have that I have? Starts with an E, I think. They make the background too.
Elgato.
Mm-hmm. I love the build of that light, but it changed the color in here because I also have an LED with, I don't know, 900 bulbs or something, and I bounce it off the wall, and that gave me a little more realistic color.
Really? Okay. But anyway, so I mean, it's okay. I got to do a little more tweaking here.
Oh, you know what? You have that red shirt on, and I bet it's doing a color cast to your face.
That could be.
Yeah.
That could be. But I'm wondering also why I'm not The green screen isn't green screening as much as it should. Well, anyway, my green screen.
No, it's fine.
Over here on the side, it seems.
Yeah.
Right there.
Well, that could be you don't have enough light.
No, I do have enough light.
Yeah, and you're putting it on the green screen too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a difference. You know, I remember a few years ago, you used to say, "Don't you dare get a green screen." You know, you didn't want me or anyone else to use a green screen.
Well, no, I didn't want you to use it because it became annoying after a while. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, because some people go on, they're constantly changing the picture throughout the show, and I'm going, "Geez, you know, don't do that." You know, some people.
Well,
do that.
you gotta get some videos and put those on behind you. Since I don't take any videos, I'm not in possession of any.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know why I'm having problems with that. My filters
Color
are not doing what they should be doing. My filter for chroma key. Let me see here.
Are you running it through OBS or Zoom? The chroma key.
The chroma
are you
key,
using
I'm
Zoom?
running through OBS.
Okay. Well, that's supposed to be stronger than the Zoom one, and I'm using the Zoom.
Yeah, I should be. Let's see, color spill reduction. No, that doesn't do it. Let me see here. I'm trying to clean stuff up, folks. Excuse me while we do all this stuff. You know, brightness. There we go. There we go.
You can change your contrast too. Maybe that will do it.
This has to do with my main picture.
Oh.
Okay, and it seems to be okay now. Let's just let it stay that way. See, here's what I'm talking about. You won't see it, but this is the picture that I'm worried about. It was getting a lot of. Oh, now it doesn't seem to have any.
It looks fine, especially on the YouTube rendering.
Anyway, so this is what happens when you get new equipment. Everything changes. The whole game changes, and it's not fun.
Well, I'm going whale. I'm going to shoot whales on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm driving down to Monterey on Saturday. Stay overnight. Get up at dark 30, and get on the boat and go out and photograph whales.
Why don't you just go to England and shoot the Queen? That'd be shooting the whales. Ah ha ha!
No, that's the Prince of Wales.
Yeah. So anyway, what last night we really that's discussion last night was getting.
Yeah, it was nice. You know, I wanted to tease the Tony thing in the first half hour to see if it would pump up a few more listeners and participants. Yeah. But I had to run with it because Tony was prepared to do it, and I use the he wants to come out on the show deal, and he wants to come out to you. So I figured, but then he comes out for Trump.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it was how can I put it? It was not. It was a fun show because you encourage Tony to be a bad boy. And,
yes, I do.
And so we
well, if he's going to call me 300 times a day, I'm going to fuck with him.
Was he calling you 300 times a day on that deal?
Well, maybe not 300. It could. The audio calls might be 10 or 15, but I have him on silent, so I don't take him. I will call him back, but only once. Whereas
not the 800 times he calls.
Yeah, right.
Okay. But anyway, I turned up the lights a little bit, and now it's.
Yeah, it made a difference to the green screen.
I get obsessed by this stuff, folks. Excuse me. You know what you said last night, which was interesting, is that when we were having our troubles, the numbers really were jumping through the roof.
I know. I saw 114. Maybe there was a mistake where YouTube was.
Where were you reading that number?
There were 2 YouTubes that you had posted during the show, and you can see, how many people are watching. Right now, there's 21 watching.
Yeah.
And but on those other YouTubes, did you take them down?
No, those other ones were ones. I think you were reading the ones from the day before.
No, because it was my picture was on it.
Yeah.
along with yours.
Yeah.
So, and it was labeled. You had a couple of them that were labeled 6/15/22. And I was seeing 85, and it jumped up to 110.
What happens though is that sometimes when there's a problem, people will stop and reboot and come back on.
It's double counting.
It double counts and everything. And so that's why when you have troubles like that, all of a sudden the numbers go crazy, and you go, "Oh wow, maybe I should fuck up every night."
Yeah.
But I really apologize, folks, for last night, because we were spending the whole show just trying to get
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You kept your cool. You didn't go crazy. You didn't throw everybody out. You didn't say, God damn it, there's not going to be a show. I can't do this. You stuck to it. You did what you had to do, and you got the show on.
Something I've learned. You
should be proud of yourself.
Although currently I've been having lightheadedness and all this other stuff, and I kind of think, I can't handle this. I actually got lightheaded at one point during that whole process.
Well, that's reasonable.
But yeah, I guess it's reasonable.
It's stressful,
Yeah, it's very stressful. But the one thing I've learned, and people, you should remember this in technology, because you all use technology now. Whether you want to say you're using, I'm not into technology. Well, yes, you are. Isn't that a beautiful view out my window? It's actually the view out my window.
That is your view, huh?
Yeah. No Photoshop there, folks.
But you ought to put in some of the panes. You ought to put some photoshopped something. Like what do they call those, gargoyles or grotesques?
Anyways,
looking in the window.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So the one thing I think, the one piece of advice I have for anybody when your technology screws up, it's all solvable. You just got to find out what the problem is. And the problem is you have to go through a process of elimination. Like I was doing everything over here with the control board, doing a process of elimination, and none of it was working. And then I said, well, maybe it's the Zoom. At the last minute, remember I said, maybe it's Zoom. And I went and looked at Zoom, and sure enough, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Well, now, my memory isn't what it used to be. So thank goodness for the iPhone. I take pictures. A guy that works for me, if he takes apart something, before he takes it apart, he takes a picture of it. And this way he knows how it goes back together.
Do I look like I'm in a real room?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
an iPhone picture.
Yeah.
That's how good cameras have gotten today. I bought Marjorie when we were first married. I bought her a Nikon, and then I bought her another Nikon. It was like a 12 megapixel Nikon. Yeah. You probably have one of those sitting around there somewhere.
Well, I do. I have a D700 I use for underwater, and that's 13 megapixels.
Okay, well,
this one's 47.
Oh.
This is the brand new top of the line Nikon Z9.
What is that? 47,000?
No, 47 megapixels.
47 megapixels.
So 47,000. Yeah.
Well, what hers was a 12. Okay. But
wait a minute. 47 megapixels is 47,000 mega.
Well, this was 12 megapixels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got her a 12 megapixel camera. It was a good camera. But you know something? This thing takes better pictures. Okay?
They said this is a 13 megapixel.
I think this
camera.
takes 16 megapixels, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh no, that yours, it takes a lot more than that, I think.
Oh, really?
But this one's 13 megapixels, and I've had it since 2010. This one 47 megapixels, and I sold two pro camera bodies to buy this, and but this is the one that everybody's talking about. So I'll be shooting this on Sunday.
And you know what you could do with that? You could actually shoot video with that.
Oh yeah, I can shoot 8.3K video with this.
A lot of people that are shooting video now are shooting it using Nikon cameras or Canon cameras or whatever.
Right.
And they have built-in ability to do video, and they would rather shoot with those than with video.
You know camera. Why? Because of the lenses that you can put on these things.
Yes.
I have lenses from 14 millimeter, 15 fisheye, 50.
But do you ever shoot video with that? Do you ever shoot video with yours?
You know something? I don't even know how to shoot video with it. So,
Probably, it's a very simple thing. You just probably crank something. And...
Oh yeah, there's a red button here, but that and if you hit that red button, it'll record video. The only problem is I don't know what to do with the video once I record it. Mm-hmm. You know, I know how to use Lightroom, Topaz, all these other plugins that I have for Lightroom, which is similar to Photoshop, but it's strictly for photographers. But when it comes to what's the program you use from Adobe for your video?
Well, I use every Adobe product there is. I have the whole suite every month. I pay $55 a month.
$50 a month. Yeah.
Which that's kind of gets, you kind of begin to wonder whether you should be doing that, you know. But
well,
anyway.
I never use anything else other than Lightroom.
I use Photoshop. I use audio, the audio program.
Premiere, is that the one
Premiere,
you use?
I use Premiere. Right. I'll use Rush sometimes, which is just simply a cut and paste version of Premiere. But there are a whole bunch of them. Wait a minute, let me see if in case people are not interested in this, I don't know.
Yeah, well, if you bring up the suite, and it'll show you all the programs.
Here's my suite. Wait a minute, I don't want this opening up. Stop it. I force quit. Okay, there we go. Let me see here. My Adobe is I have was it Rush, Premiere, Photoshop, Media Encoder, Adobe Lightroom, Dreamweaver, Animator, Adobe Audition, and Adobe Acrobat, and that's just the stuff I've got installed. Well, because there are about another 20 that I can install.
The only reason that I pay the $50 or $55 a month, I could pay $10 a month and get Lightroom and Photoshop.
Yeah.
But I need the Adobe Acrobat that allows you to fill in forms and things like that. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm paying.
Well, here's the thing. I wish that Adobe doesn't want to do this because they're all scumbags. Okay, every one of them. They're all robber barons. Because this is kind of like, with TV, folks, what are you paying for? You're paying for maybe 2 channels, 3 channels at best that you watch, okay? Yeah. And the rest...
Fox and Bravo.
Yeah, and the rest you're getting anyway, whether you want it or not. So, the most money you pay for any single cable channel is for what cable channel?
It's that Hallmark, right?
No, Lifetime.
Lifetime, same thing.
About $9 a month you're paying for Lifetime.
Wow.
Because it's part of a package, though.
Well, we're in the wrong business.
Yeah, we should be robbing banks. But anyway,
well, I don't know if they're going to have any money soon. Every YouTuber and his brother is talking about the crash. I think it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're saying that the housing market's going to crash, interest rates are going to go up. You're not going to be able to get food. Mm-hmm. You better start, hoarding or saving food and grain.
Who was that I heard said they weren't? There was something they didn't want to do because the prices are. They want to buy it today. A lot of people are buying stuff right now, like. Maybe this Apple. Do
you remember
and the reason they're buying it is they're saying the price will probably go up on it, and I want to get it while the price is where it's at, even though it's higher than it used to be.
Well, do you remember in the early '80s when Jimmy Carter was president and the inflation I think was around. I know interest was around 18%, but inflation was right up there too, maybe even higher. And that was the attitude of people. They were making purchases because they said, it's going to be more expensive in a week.
And you know something? They're probably right at this point.
Yeah, but you know what? Everything's cyclical. It'll go back to normal.
You can say it's cyclical, but maybe this is the new normal. We don't know.
No, because we've been through this before. And they were able to correct it. So we're just going to go through it again. I mean, these things happen.
We've been through this before.
Yeah, when we had the high inflation and high interest rates.
Yeah, get on the show here.
Pull your pants up, Alan.
No, I'm just talking to my roommate, talking about how blind you are when it comes to talking about economics, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, the housing prices are going to drop, food shortages, and all this.
You
this
don't
is
listen.
The Republican playbook, Phil.
You don't listen. I was quoting a bunch of YouTubers that say these things.
Why don't you go to TikTok? It's a better place to get your news.
Well, maybe I'll see.
And when you flip it, you can see the news, and then you can flip it and see a woman in a bikini, and then flip it again and see some guy diving off a cliff, and then flip it again.
I know. See Donald Trump diving off of a cliff. If he's as good as you say, he'll survive.
Absolutely will.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They say that a lot of people are buying stuff. You'd think in an economy like this, people wouldn't be buying. But that some of them are going out and buying like crazy because they're thinking if they don't buy it now, like a car or something like that, the price is going to go even higher.
Everybody I listen to says, hold on to your cash.
Like I'm going out tomorrow and buying a pound of cherries because they may go up the next day.
Well, just get them from Tony. He paid $15. He's not going to eat those cherries because they're too expensive.
11.
He's going to have them varnished.
Yeah.
How can he send you 300 messages a day, Phil? He sends me 250.
Well, he likes me better.
That's it.
Well, I told him I know where he lives, and if he starts doing that to me, I'm coming out and I'm going to kill him.
Shotgun texting is what the kids call it.
Yeah. Hi, Kevin. How you doing?
All right, Alex. How you doing?
Oh, okay.
Well, happy birthday, Kevin.
Thank you.
Was it your birthday today?
No, the other day.
Yesterday when I tried to call in, but you were having all kinds of problems. I was going to tell you, and
I'm sorry.
You blew everybody off, so I said, okay, fine.
Well, I just wasn't answering a lot of the people who were coming in because I was too busy trying to solve the problem,
Well, I was telling you what was really going on.
You were telling me, I saw your things occasionally saying you don't have audio, now you have audio.
Yeah.
But none of these other people, these people in our...
I give up after a while because you get confused.
In our chat, we're good about it. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get rid of Phil's name. We don't have to have it up there.
You're really a masochist, aren't you, Phil? 2 nights in a row.
Well, I figured, look, he got
robbed. I was thinking, I thought it was a rerun.
He got robbed last night. He really did.
I thought I got a break.
How the hell's he get robbed?
I thought you were very nice.
And then, you want to hear what happened? Yesterday I did 2 interviews with Stephen Kravitz, right? In the afternoon before last night. And I go to set one up to play it tonight. No audio. Because of the problem that we had from last night, because I do it on Zoom. So, anyway.
The first time you ever yelled at me was because of Stephen Kravitz.
Was it really?
Yeah. I went to the...
Go back to your room, Phil.
Yeah, no. What was the name of that comedy club it was on Chestnut or Lombard?
Cobb's?
Laugh House?
Yeah, Cobb's. I went to Cobb's one night, and he was at the door. And this was after I had done a little stint for you at Camel to help you out over the summer until you could get a regular guy. And he says to me, "Can you get me on Alex's show? Can you get me on Alex's show?" And he was so aggressive. I said, "Let me see what I can do." Well, the next morning he shows up at the studio and he says, "Phil said I can be on the show."
Well, good. I'm glad he did, because I've always thought he was one of the best people we used to have on the air.
Yeah.
He's a great. It's not interview, but there was a.
You didn't let him on.
Why didn't?
No, he yelled at me. You said, "Don't you tell him he can be on the show." I said, "I didn't tell him. I said, I'll see what I can do."
Somehow we got to the point where I liked having him on, and he was a regular on the show. But,
yeah.
Anyway, so I recorded those 2 interviews, and they were. I had to write him a letter today saying, "I'm sorry, you spent an hour with me and didn't happen." But I said,
you can voice track his interview. What does Stephen Kravitz always say? The only words he said.
Right.
Maybe I wish I could find a lip reader.
Yeah.
Who could we could have run the interview, and then the lip reader could be saying what they're saying.
I bet you there's probably somebody that listens to
Yeah,
your
but
show.
usually the
that can
problem
do it.
is those lip readers are deaf, and they can't talk very well.
Right.
Like Steve Kravitz
Not
will
all of
sound like
them.
Steve
You
Kravitz
get
will
people-
sound like this.
Yeah,
You know.
no, but you get people that their relatives, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers are deaf, and
No, but we don't need a signer. We don't need a signer. We need a lip reader.
Yeah,
I'm losing my hearing, and I started reading lips.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
maybe
getting there.
maybe I could put up the Steve Kravitz interview, and you could kind of tell us what we're saying.
Alan and I have a friend
Right,
that does
right,
sign
right,
language.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Hey, that's it. That's all you got to say.
Right.
Right.
Who says right?
Steve
Right.
Kravitz.
Kravitz.
right.
Does he really
Yeah,
say?
and last week you did your interview with him, and in that half hour, I counted like 680 times that he said right.
Oh,
That's
no.
like the guy that that's like Eastwood or Eastman pleading the fifth 101 times, or was it?
Something like that. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, he didn't say
Fifth.
he didn't say
Fifth.
right. He didn't say
Fifth.
right on these interviews I did yesterday because there was no sound. So no. But
There we go.
I never noticed that he does that. You ready
Yeah.
for that?
Yeah.
Just loop the right and then push the button every time you say something. You can run the interview. You just push the button and he goes right.
He doesn't just say right; he'll go right. Like he's agreeing with you. It's
Yeah.
no big deal, but it's just
Exactly.
that's his claim to fame for me. Right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, I've got my thing. I understand. So I could say that.
Well,
and it's
okay. There are things that we do,
Right.
and I don't know how to describe them, but they're space fillers. Okay,
correct.
that when you are trying to think of the next thing you're going to say, you say,
yeah.
you
And
know,
for
the other
me,
person
I
doesn't
understand.
really
and,
You don't want dead air.
Or there
Right.
are other terms other people use, and so years ago I taught myself not to do those. I don't think you can say that I have one of those fillers.
Well, if you listen to some of your earlier shows that you had me on before, just in the regular shows.
Do I have to?
No,
No,
what,
please
what
don't.
I had was a lot of ahs. So and I wanted to break myself of that. Now, of course, I replaced it with I understand, but that's at least a little bit more intelligible.
You can take those many times and replace them with something else. Either that, or say to yourself, every time I'm going to say, all right, just pause. Don't say anything.
I love when people say that when they're telling you a story. Oh, you know about this and you know about that, and I'm like, no, I don't know. And they're like, huh?
Faye talks to her sister in Tagalog, and the word for in Tagalog is sabaco. And every 2 seconds it's sabaco this, sabaco that, and I know what that is. It's
You
The only
learned
thing
one
he knows
word
is
in Tagalog, and now
Well,
you
she
think you
told me
can
the curse
speak. You
words,
think
too.
you can speak the entire language.
no, I have never had a desire
Well,
to learn Tagalog.
I had my wife Susan, my
Yeah.
ex-wife Susan. By the way, is still with us. Amazing, but she's still with us.
If you talk to her, tell her I said hi.
She is
I always liked her.
pops up as a wannabe Facebook friend. It's Facebook doing their thing, not her.
No,
I don't-
Susan
I-
Fine-Silver?
Oh, maybe not.
Susan Bennett.
Oh,
Yeah,
does
yeah.
she use Fine-Silver or
No,
No,
Bennett. Bennett.
But she doesn't have Facebook. Huh? Wait a minute. I'll go
Who
to
was your
Facebook.
wife? Who was your? Oh, maybe it was Ronnie.
Oh, Ronnie Bennett.
She
Well,
can't friend you. She cannot friend you.
But
Yeah.
I understand. she's
and don't be
fast,
upset
but-
by that. But
And if she does, you're in trouble.
were you thinking of Ronnie Bennett?
Yeah, that's the name that keeps. Facebook says, "Do you want to friend all these people because they're friends of friends?" And and Ronnie Bennett has popped up several times. And
She's been
I
dead.
know I know she's dead. I know she passed away. She was your wife. So obviously, I don't friend her. I'm not going to see much in her timeline. But
No, she's my
No.
ex-wife. She wasn't my wife.
I'm sorry.
Well,
But
there
she
is a
also
difference. There is a difference because if you say, "Well, I heard that you're," remember she died. She died. She was your wife. Everybody goes, "Oh my God!" What's my
dead,
latest
right?
wife's
Wait
name?
till we tell
Marjorie.
Marjorie she's gonna go. She's gonna get you.
So she's dead, right?
Who, Marjorie?
Passed away.
Not Marjorie.
I don't know.
I
It's
said
pretty-
passed away 4 times. He didn't say
Every
it.
now and then in the middle of the night, if she's sleeping too soundly, I kind of nudge her a little bit to make sure she didn't die in her sleep. You
Not
know,
Marjorie.
You know, every morning now I get up and I say, I made it through another one. And the sun is
Now
shining.
wetting the bed.
Well, no, not always, but it's interesting that now I count the days, and I'm just so pleased that I get up in the morning and I'm not dead.
Well, the latest thing we're trying, Marjorie is imploring me to try, for my lightheadedness and everything, is electrolytes.
Yeah,
You think you're dehydrated?
I could very well be. I need electrolytes.
I take them every
If
day
you
now.
pinch,
And
if
does
you
it- does
pinch
it-
your, if you pinch your knuckle and the skin stays pinched, you are dehydrated. So you just pinch the knuckle,
Yeah, it stays
and
pinched.
if it stays up,
Look at that. Wait a minute. Where is it here? There we go. See?
okay, you're dehydrated.
Oh, well,
right.
we all can do that, and I've been drinking water all day long.
Well, so have I. Well, you can do it a little bit, but for people that are dehydrated, it really stays up there and it gets real
So
much
the
bigger.
best way.
I'm staying up there a little bit.
Yeah.
See?
From non-Dr. Allen, the best way to check your hydration.
Oh, non-Dr. Allen, here we go.
Hey, this is Phil's medical
I was
minute.
just waiting
That's
for it.
Is if you urinate and it doesn't come out dark, and you're urinating on a regular basis, you're hydrated enough.
Well, you're hydrated enough that you're not going to faint, but you definitely want to take in more water than you think you need.
Absolutely, urinating all the time is good for you.
Gee, I
at
wonder-
the
I wonder-
gym-
I wonder how this show would sound if I was like 30 years younger. know?
Just
Right,
speed up
right.
your. Just speed it up on YouTube when when you post it. Speed up your voice a little, and that might make it sound that
One of
way.
my bulbs is out over here. Echo, turn on candles. Oh, no, it went on. Okay, there we go.
God, and
I have
you
it.
were
By the
30
way,
years younger.
I have everything in here practically now. Where I turn
Like
it on.
the Jetsons.
It's well. You remember you used to have the clapper. We no longer have the
Oh, yeah.
clapper anymore. You just say Alexa, and
Yeah,
and
Alan gets the clap.
Oh, that's
I-
so funny. My mother has one of those. To turn the lights on across the
I
room,
can
and
turn
it
on-
died
I
the
can-
other day.
I just got a new air conditioner. I can turn on the air conditioner while I'm outside going
From
out.
Alexa.
I come home, and it'll be on. Or I can also just turn it on here by saying, well, I don't say Alexa, I say the other word, but Alexa, turn on the air conditioner. Next thing you know, the air conditioner goes on.
Now everybody that's listening to you has their air conditioner on,
Yes.
whether they wanted it or not.
Yes.
I don't own Alexa, so mine didn't turn on. So
I'll tell you something. Marjorie, when I first got well, they're not called. See, the thing is, she was
That Amazon.
The Amazon
the
talking
Amazon thing that happens when you yell into a canyon. Okay, and when I first got the first one, she went, "What do you want that for? Another toy?" And then I got another one. And another one. We have one in the kitchen. We have one in the living room. We have one in the bedroom. We have one in the guest room. I have one here. Okay. She said, "Why are you getting all those?" And then all of a sudden now I hear her going, Alexa, turn on the oven. Alexa, turn on the lights in the pantry. Alexa, do this. Alexa, do that. And I go, you'd miss that, wouldn't you? It's
Isn't
like
it like something out
I
of the
even hooked up my
Jetsons?
garage door.
does it
Wow.
open your garage door?
Yeah, I got a little module that hooks up to it, and you connect it up to it, and
And
they now
Double
have
garage
one
door,
that
open up
flushes the
the
toilet for you.
shut the garage door.
In the bathroom, you can get off the toilet and say, "Alexa, flush the toilet."
You know, my
That's
old
a bit
house.
lazy. That's a bit lazy because you're right there where the knob is. You know,
I don't
my-
have it,
in
but
my-
I saw it advertised.
In my old house for my motorcycle,
I gotta get one.
if you flip the blinkers, it would open the garage door. So you'd pull up, and if you were about 6, 8, 10 feet from the garage door, you just flip the blinkers on the Harley, and the garage door would open. That was a nice thing, because trying to
well, I'll tell you the other
Yeah,
thing.
trying to find it.
I gave her, I bought an Apple Watch, and she gave me a bad. Why do you need an Apple Watch for? What do you need that for? And then when I got this new bigger one, I gave her my older one. She got so used to it that the other day she had to take it down to the Apple store to get a new battery put in it, and they had to send it away. They said it may be 7 to 10 days. Wow. She is going nuts not having that watch, right? And she basically uses it for when she walks. She starts the thing going so she knows how far she's walked and how many calories she loves that watch. She uses it. But you know what happens is we get really used and wedded to this technology, and it's she loves Alexa and she loves her Apple Watch, but these are all things she hated in the beginning. I don't want to wear that. You got to charge it every night.
When they start making the Apple Watches so that they weigh a little bit more and they're a little more substantial, right now they just feel like plastic, and I don't like wearing it.
I don't want one.
This is because it's not unsubstantial.
This is a Citizen. It's thick. It's heavy. I can feel it when it's on my arm.
Yeah, but this is fine.
It weighs as much as my Rolex that I never wear.
This is fine, Plus,
this is a diver's watch.
With this one,
it'll go 200 meters.
I can leave my Apple iPhone home, walk down the street, and give you a call, Phil, because it's got cellular in it.
But why would you want to?
Well, I don't know if I want money, but all I'm saying is, if I forget my iPhone, this thing still works, still does everything it has to do.
How about a mile from your house?
No,
he's got a cellular phone. It's a regular cellular.
I could go to
his iPhone at home.
What?
You said if you left your iPhone at home, so you and just had your watch, your Apple Watch.
If I went out and I didn't have my Apple phone, I could have all the functions.
What Alan doesn't know is you have cellular on your watch.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes, I have cellular on the watch.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was capable.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, and
I'm so behind in technology.
I can put my earphones on, hook my YouTube up to Bluetooth up to the watch, and listen to all my tunes, off the cloud.
How about your front door? You got your front door hooked up to the Alexa?
You know why I haven't? Because we don't. Why my front door?
He's on the 8th floor.
And then if I get locked out, I can go to my watch and push
I'm
the
on the
button.
8th floor, and there are only 3 people that come in here, us and 2 other people.
Nice though, when you got a handful of groceries and you walk up to your door and it's open, you just put your elbow on.
Well, that wouldn't happen. I have to have heavy duty locks in this neighborhood.
Or a hot coffee. You turn your wrist upside down, dump the coffee over, and push the button on the watch.
Yeah, I like asking Alan
what you can do
time
is
it is
you do that
when he's drinking coffee.
You go whoops, and then you go, I can order another coffee.
Well, whenever I see Alan, I always ask him what time it is when he's drinking coffee, so he spills it on himself.
But what I think is amazing is this whole concept of getting you so used to something you can't live without it.
Yeah. Well, look what happens when the internet goes down. Or, let's say you have AT&T or Verizon, and
everybody goes nuts.
And the service goes down, and it has.
What day was it? Was there a day that Facebook went down, or
they all go down eventually.
Amazon went down or something, and everybody's going. Amazon was down the other day.
Yeah.
Because I went to certain pages and they said we cannot access this page at this time, but for everything that I clicked on.
Well, I process credit cards at the store through the phone line, which is voice over IP. And if Verizon goes down, I have no phones. I can't process credit cards.
That's right.
I can't get into my accounting system because it's on the cloud.
Well, do you realize how some real good hackers could completely immobilize this country? And something you would think that, our government's ready for that. We've taken all the precautions against it. No, they haven't.
No, it's quite vulnerable.
Look in Texas last winter when the grid went down.
Yep.
I believe that had something to do. Well, it was ice, but
It was Texas too. So.
Yeah, but they didn't expect it. But we can be hacked. Look what they're doing in the Ukraine right now. Russia.
But you think about all those things back in 1950.
Yeah.
Okay. We weren't that vulnerable to that sort of thing.
No, I had an adding machine. You pulled the crank.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the phone system in your part of town went down. But I mean, here you could literally immobilize. I mean, if somebody goes after Facebook tomorrow, or somebody goes after Amazon, Amazon is the #1 seller of goods
stuff
in this country. If you close that down, not only would people be insecure because they couldn't buy online. How's the Warriors game doing?
Minute left to go. 101.88.
A minute left.
Warriors ahead.
A minute left. So we're 2 minutes away from hearing from Brian.
Yeah, well, you may not hear from them if they win too.
By the way, Russia. I heard in the news that Russia took over the internet in Ukraine. It was either yesterday or today.
I didn't hear.
They've been constantly fighting that for since before the war started.
Yeah, but
they're constantly fighting the threats.
But I guess Elon Musk has a thing called Starnet.
Skynet.
It's
something else. Skylink.
Skylink. You're right on the first time.
Starnet.
Wait a minute. I think it's called Skylink.
Oh, maybe
Skylink?
It is called Skylink.
Well, that would be a backup system for what we have now, or unless you need the internet to be able to access it.
Yeah, only people like you can afford it, though. It's like $600.
Okay, it looks like it's Starlink. Let me see here.
It's like $600
Starlink.
Yeah. What?
Well, right now it's $600 a month because you got 7 people using it. But when you get millions of people,
no, I don't think it costs that much a month. I don't believe.
It's pretty expensive. Whatever.
A friend of mine had a satellite phone, and it was almost that much a month.
What Musk did was he purposely deposited some satellites right over the Ukraine so they would have communications.
Wow.
Well, they're actually spinning, as the Earth revolves, satellites, and so these are satellite.
No, they're not.
Dishes.
They don't spin.
They don't orbit. Well,
they orbit. They orbit, but they're in a geostationary orbit. In other words, they go up and they stay in one place over the Earth all the time.
Okay, but these little antennas that he gave the Ukraine, the Starlink or whatever it's called, are basically satellite dishes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And you can get your internet off that if you want to spend the money. It's great for somebody that likes to go off the grid with camping out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me go over to
how much is it a month?
Starlink, is it? Yeah, Starlink. I love your Starlink. Let me see here. Starlink. Okay. Residential. It's no way to go there and find out. It says order now, but it doesn't say what the prices are.
Well, order it and don't put your credit card in.
Well, wait, hold on a second. Here, I can do this. How much does Starlink cost?
$135 a month.
Oh.
There you go. All I did was Google Starlink cost.
Yeah.
How fast is it?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. $25 portability monthly fee.
Yeah.
How much does Starlink installation cost? That's $110 a month, and with the equipment price rising to $599 as well. Okay, and if you deposit the original $499 price, you'll pay $549.
Warriors win.
Okay, a new Starlink business service tier, which costs $500 a month plus Doesn't say how
Starlink
much.
service, $500-$600 a month.
No, $99 a month.
Okay.
You have to buy your own satellite?
I'm gonna get
well,
one.
you have a $4.99 upfront cost.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Phil
I think
does
that
He
I think
puts-
that includes the dish.
He buys a gun at full price and then spends another 5 times that on customizing it.
Right. Right.
So you'll have a Starlink in the store in a couple weeks.
But that's what. But Starlink is. He's literally put up a ring of satellites up there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know.
And well, that's the good news. The bad news is it's more clutter up there. Do you know how much clutter is up there?
Yeah, there's a lot of space garbage.
You know, somebody was going up there and cleaning that up, but I can't remember who was doing it. I think Musk had a plan for cleaning it up.
Maybe you want to get a GabNet satellite yourself.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's how a lot of those evangelists started, was with satellite uplinks. I used to watch this guy, Dr. Gene Scott. You remember Dr. Gene Scott? Had great
They
hair.
have a drink.
But you're wrong about that in a way, Phil. The
Sure.
first one ever to buy a satellite transponder full time, and he was way ahead of his time, was what's his name?
Robinson?
You know, what do you call it?
Oh no, the guy that got
Jim
got
Baker.
caught up
Jim
in
Baker.
that timeshare thing.
Jim Baker.
Jim Baker, yeah. He built something and sold 130% of it.
The Tammy Baker.
Yeah,
No, it was in North Carolina or something. He built a resort
but
with
he-
timeshares
But he said
and sold
he had,
130% of the
people sending
timeshares.
him, but I don't think he was a crook. The people around him were. That was the problem. There were people literally going, and a lot of people would send in cash, and they would have these cash rooms, and people would just go in there and put stuff money in their pockets. And he had better things to do than watch out for what was going on in the counting
The
room.
entertainment part.
Yeah.
Who Tammy was dating.
So the
but-
Warriors won. Yeah, and San Francisco police just put out a thing saying, "We will not tolerate violence. We are ready." Yeah,
Yeah, but they won't arrest you either.
Yeah, what? Right.
And if you're a drug addict, they'll give you the needle.
and if you murder somebody in the process, 5 days in jail and you're out.
No bail.
And
They
then
just
you
let you out.
can you can buy a gun.
Sounds
That's
like
right.
4th of July down here, and we're 90 miles away.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, it's interesting. We live in a society where people take winning worse than they take losing.
Well, it's not that it's worse. They feel like they're a part of it. They identify with these teams. And
Yeah, but why, when they win, do you suddenly decide, well, let's burn down that building? That sounds like a good idea.
you remember, you see the Raiders, and you'd look on one side of the field, and the fans would. It was called the dead hole or something, and
Black hole.
Black hole, and the fans would just go wild, But they, these are people that work all week, wear a suit, and then they go there and they dress up like turnips.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. I know the answer to it. Phil, you said your phone has voice over IP. What does that stand for?
VoIP.
Wait a minute. Let Phil answer. He said his
It's
phone when he
voice
runs
over the internet protocol.
You got it. Okay. And do you know
Hello.
what that means?
Thought you had him.
Yeah, I thought I had him.
Yeah, take a drink
He
there.
doesn't
anyway.
look that smart, so
No, nobody uses VoIP much anymore, do they?
no.
Oh no! Well, many businesses are using it now.
All there is now, practically.
Yeah, but mine had gone down several times, and even though I pay for much faster speeds, I don't see any benefit to it. It still stinks.
You know what they tore down 2 weeks ago here? I think it was in Times Square somewhere.
Oh, wow!
The last phone booth.
Wow!
Oh no.
There are no more phone booths, folks.
Well, Elon Musk will probably use that Skylink, and he'll find a way that you can put change in it so you can make a phone call from a booth.
Well, so Alex, your iPhone, like Phil's and mine, you can set it up to go make phone calls and text messages now over the internet. If you're like at home and your phone is right, that's voice over internet protocol in action.
What?
You're dialing your phone or sending a text over the internet versus over data versus over, so that is voice over internet protocol.
No, I don't think it's the same thing as VoIP.
Okay.
I think VoIP is where you...
Jeff had his hand up. I think he knows.
Jeff?
I use a regular phone to measure my pacemaker and sending the information over to my cardiologist.
Right.
That's my CPAP. So
daily basis. Totally digital information.
Yeah, but what happens with VoIP is a way of, for instance, my phone's here that I'm forced to take by my cable company. You're getting your local telephone service with it, but it's
your
phone, but it's VoIP.
It is VoIP, yeah. Because in the old days, when you used copper cables for landlines, you only I used to get like 300 baud. That was the speed that
you're getting approximately now what Bubbles is getting.
Yeah, but 300 baud.
Bubbles still has dial-up. He still
I
hears
used to have I had a telex. I had a telex when I was working internationally.
You remember the sound it made, right?
Yeah, and you put the phone on a coupler.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put the phone on the receiver, the old Western Bell receiver on a coupler.
Oh, in a coupler, yeah.
Yeah, and it was 300 baud. And so you'd sit there, you'd type a message, and you had paper, thermal paper. And I used to send my orders in on that to Europe.
Yeah. You can still get that service, but it costs more. That's why everybody goes.
In 1982, maybe, I was paying $25 a month to Western Union.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
hear fireworks going off here too, Kevin.
Huh?
I hear fireworks going off here too. And I'm 45 miles away. So.
By the way, you've been joined by Bathtub. Bathtub Brian.
Oh, there's Bathtub, our AC guy.
Hey, you remember me? That's nice.
When I was a youngster, I worked on heating and air conditioning.
Oh, well, then you're my spirit animal. Thank you so much. God bless.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're in Australia, right?
No. Sure. South Jersey, Australia, same shit.
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
When Alan worked on HVAC, it was a fan, and they used to, Cleopatra stood there, and he had a fanner with this fig leaf. That was the HVAC he worked on.
Yeah. How you doing, Bathtub?
I'm doing very well. I always love when I'm scrolling through YouTube, and then because I'm subscribed, it just pops right up, and there you are, and it's nice because I oftentimes I miss your guys' broadcast, but
so do I.
It's nice to catch it. God bless you. I love you. God,
Yeah. So. Well, we thank you for calling. How's everything? Were you up in your neck of the woods?
Very busy, working like an asshole. Getting
like Phil.
It's hot right now in Jersey, right?
It's hot.
Yeah. That's when everybody's air conditioner breaks.
That's exactly right. So
we live in a really old building. We live in a building that's 120 years old, 122 years old, and it's really, really old.
How old is it?
But when I put in air conditioning, it just is a thing you put in the window and let it cool you off.
If you had central air
wait a
120 years ago.
Hold on a second. Let me finish what I was going to say. However, Diana Ross's daughter, who lives in this building, has a shitload of money, I guess, and completely redesigned her apartment and fixed it up and made it into this gigantic palace, as it were. And she put in central air conditioning. She got to put a air conditioner on the roof, and they ran it in. I guess you can do that, right? Even in the oldest
split
buildings.
system.
Huh?
A split system.
What's a split system?
No. She's probably got one of those package units on the roof.
Yeah.
Heat and air.
Maybe.
I think she does, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I've got at the store. I've got two of them. 10,000.
Why am I listening to you guys? We have an expert here.
Oh. I just had to pay for a new unit.
Hold on a second. What were you going to say?
No, I mean there's a handful of ways. Like you could have a commercial unit with AV valves where every thermostat opens up a like a zone, or it's too much to get into. We're not going to talk about that. I mean, unless you want to really break it down.
I don't think you want to talk business.
Yeah. So what? You have central air now? Is that what you're saying?
No. I don't have central air. Diana Ross's daughter does.
Oh.
And Phil does it at his store.
Yeah.
And recently the capacitor went out, and he said just replace it, the whole air conditioner.
No, it wasn't the capacitor. The air conditioner went out. It cost me $8,000. They had to use a crane to put it on the roof.
That's all it costs for the air conditioner. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, well, there were guys that wanted 30, and this guy was 8, and it works fine.
I had to pay for central air in my house and a new heater, which has the same blower.
I'm sure Brian doesn't want to hear this. I don't think he came here to hear
the reason I got it. The reason I got it for 8 was we probably stole it from the store down the street.
Yeah, fell off a truck.
Yeah.
I don't mind talking business. I just didn't want to get into the semantics of things. What's funny when you talk about a capacitor, if you Google what a capacitor costs, it's like $20.
Right.
So what I have done, is start renaming everything. So what a capacitor does, it sort of jump starts a unit. It creates an extra phase in the electrical current coming through, because none of these motors can start on their own. So instead of calling something a capacitor, I sell people, because it's one of the more common air conditioning repairs, I sell them phase inducers, which try Googling that. And you're not going to have a problem with it. And it's kind of a comical thing because, we have a labor rate, but the labor rate is suppressed. It's not the true labor rate. And we have to hide it in our materials. But, in a world where people
it sounds like some kind of drug, a phase inducer.
Yeah, phase inducer.
Yeah.
It's like a flux capacitor.
Yeah.
But in a world where people make $15 to $20 an hour, and then they see that you charge $80 to come out, they expect you, to be driving out of their driveway with a Mercedes. And the truth is, with overhead and all, it's like, follow me home. You can see how I live.
Yeah.
It's hard. So, but you're battling the internet, and the internet is it's a hard tool. So we've renamed almost every single item. So you can try Googling it, and you'll just hit a stone wall.
So Brian, if in my home unit, if the capacitor fails, I just change it. I don't know how to do that. But if you call a heating and air conditioning company, they put one of those $20 start run capacitors in there, and charge $350.
Well, I like what Brian was saying.
Compare with you guys?
I don't know about the rest of the audience, but I'm getting drowsy.
Well, you take some water.
Well, $350 is more akin to the truck wrap companies, the guys that use flat rate. Like around here, and I live in New Jersey, and New Jersey,
it's mafia.
It's all about cost of living. Like in Princeton, it's $200 to get a guy to knock on your door, but down in South Jersey, it's like $80. So, keep that in mind. But
I think in South Jersey, for $350 you can get a guy killed.
Yeah, well, less.
For 35.
I did several years ago. I did the Terminal 2 at the Oakland Airport, and there was a facilities manager watching what we were doing. We were doing all the jetways that go from the plane to the gate. There was like 12 jetways, and we had to do it in the middle of the night when no planes were coming in. And so when I bid the job, it was warm. When we did the job, it was freezing, and all the wind was coming in off the bay, and we couldn't get the glue to dry. It was a double stick installation. So I ran back to the store at 2 a.m, and I picked up this 50,000 BTU heater, and portable heater, ran on kerosene. And so the guy who was the facilities manager says, what is that? What is that? And my installer says, it's a Binford 2000. Now, if you remember the Tool Time show, everything was a Binford tool. So anyway, the guy's writing down Binford 2000 because he was writing down everything I was doing so that they could, if they had to get somebody else to do Terminal 1 and Terminal 3, he had it. So Binford 2000. And so when Brian was saying that he, had
everybody
this
just wake me up when we have about 2 minutes left. Okay,
no problem. So Brian, HVAC guys around here, journeymen, are making between $60 and $75 an hour. Yeah, I live in San Francisco Bay Area. So if you are a journeyman, maybe it's time to come out here. They're always looking for people.
Or become a carpet installer. You can make more than that.
There you go.
Do you make a decent living, Brian?
Someone, a buddy of mine just emailed me, and he wanted to know, he's retired in the trade, old friends, and he said, what is your hourly rate? And I said to him, what the customer thinks, it's $80. What the actual hourly rate is, $150 plus. And he said, well, how do you reconcile that? And I said, it's in the materials.
You charge more for materials.
Yeah, there's a
get a
markup.
$20 capacitor and charge $150 for it.
Yeah, by the way, $350 for a capacitor. I mean, unless you're living in New York City or something, I mean, that's a little high.
San Francisco, but I just go down to the store and buy a $20 capacitor and change it myself. But
sure.
But not everybody can do that. Like Phil.
Yeah. And by the way, it's in an 8-hour day, I have maybe 4.5 hours of billable time, because you're running and buying parts and going from house to house. It's really hard to explain that to people. You don't want to get into those weeds with people because they don't understand those.
It's $6 a gallon to run your $6 a gallon to buy fuel for your truck.
Can I kind of bring it? Let's get away from,
Sorry.
This.
Let's talk about bathtubs.
No. The one thing that I was thinking about is that there are two things that people are crying over. Okay. One is the cost of food. All right. It's over here, and the cost of gas. Now, when we talk about something we can't live without, a car, you're willing to sell the baby to put gas in your
New
tank?
York, you don't need a car. In California, in the Bay Area, if you don't have a car, you're dead in the water.
You don't have to tell me that. I live there. I know that. I know that I could not live without a car right now. But I mean, when people, what I'm saying is that when all of a sudden we're crying that, we can't feed our family because we have to buy gas, and I'm going, that shouldn't have to be a priority. It just
shouldn't have to be. But gas is up $1.40 a gallon.
I know, Phil. We know that. We've read about it. Okay.
Yeah, and it's affecting families. $500 to $900 a month.
Yeah, but so he's very right when he comes into him and says, I'm going to charge you $150 to show up and look at your situation. And he's got to make a living too. He's got to buy those $15 a pound cherries too. They're not as ready to spend the money on that. Unless it's the middle of summer and it's really hot and they need that air conditioner to start working.
Yeah, they'll spend it on.
Got them by the balls, so to speak. Unfortunately,
But I mean, the fact that gas has become such a commodity, I mean, it's nothing you can drink, it's nothing you can eat, it's nothing that puts food on your table, just something that gets you from one place to another. I mean, how are you doing it, Kevin? I mean, out there? I mean, gas must be, because don't you have, no, you don't have it. Do you have a diesel? Yeah. How much is diesel?
More expensive than gas right now.
I mean,
yeah, seven something a gallon out here.
Almost, I can find it for $6.70, $6.50 sometimes.
Holy moly.
I love it when they say, the price of gas is about $5.05 today.
Oh, we don't
A
have
gallon.
average.
And in California, people oh, good, it's gone down.
No, that's the
don't
national average.
Yeah.
That's the national average.
Yep.
Yep.
We're the high end of the average.
In the Bay Area, we are definitely paying $6.50 a gallon for regular unleaded on up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, how many of you, we said this the other night, how many of you think this is the gas companies gouging us?
I don't think so.
Oh, they are, yes. Absolutely.
Biden said that was the case, and he just got a letter from the head of Exxon excoriating him for saying that, because they used to be able to frack. And they said that it takes like a year. If you have a lease, it could take a year.
What does fracking have to do with gasoline?
Well, they stopped it.
Fracking is
offshore.
Am I wrong? Wait a minute.
Trump stopped
Wait
it.
a minute.
No, Trump didn't stop
wait a
it.
minute. Isn't fracking natural gas?
No.
You wind up with some natural gas just from drilling for oil.
No.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
Kevin,
they have a pipe that gets rid of the.
Listen to Kevin. What, Kevin?
No, you don't get natural gas from gas. You go for gas when you're drilling for gas. You get gas. You go for natural gas. You're going for natural gas.
Well, why do they say they have to put a pipe in to get rid of the gas when they're drilling? The venting.
Venting the vapors.
Oh, okay.
That's when Phil is around. There's a lot of that.
But wait a minute. I somewhere heard or associated fracking with natural gas. Do they use fracking?
You're going down into the ground and you're pulling liquid out of the ground with liquid. You're forcing liquid down to pull the liquid out, which creates a cavity, which creates an empty space, which creates a big hole to drop, that causes a big hole that causes things to drop.
So Kevin, what is side drilling?
And by the way, Phil, once again, don't blame Biden for everything. He's only been president.
I didn't blame him. I just said that this is.
He's been a president for a year and a half.
Fracking has been fought for years.
Right. What is the side drilling?
Was there was being fought before Trump was there.
Hold on a second. The side drilling you're talking about is done in other countries that want to steal oil from another country.
That happened to take place in Kuwait and Iraq.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't have anything to do with the prices.
Yeah, but they're not allowing that either. And I believe that they do it in the U.S. Don't they?
If your dentist did a better job at side drilling, your gold crown wouldn't have fallen out of your mouth, Phil.
They don't side drill to do
Oh, Jesus! Where
do
is
that
this
kind
going?
I'm joking. Jesus.
I'm sorry you had to see all this going down, bathtub Brian.
Kevin, yeah.
Well, talking about New Jersey, Jeff, you lived in New York in the 60s and 70s, right?
Sure.
Do you remember a guy who sold washing machines and refrigerators called JGE Appliance?
Yes,
I
do.
When Brian said, the guy used to get on, he says, "Hey, Jerry, what's the story?" And he says, "I'll tell you the story. You show your union card at the door, and we'll get you appliances so cheap you think they fell off the back of a truck." And so, guys that grew up in New York in the 60s and 70s remember Jerry from JGE. And Brian, he had said, oh yeah, it probably fell off the back of a truck, but he's young enough that he might not remember JGE Appliance and those advertisements.
I don't remember.
You don't remember them?
But Alex,
boy, can you sidetrack a show?
Oh,
well,
shit.
JGE.
That was really. off the rail there.
Yeah, that just took us way off onto a side road and into a ditch.
Well, what about Denison's?
He's been talking to Mike Allen a lot lately.
Yeah, what about, Denison's? Do you remember Denison's?
We're going
they sold clothes.
Now we're trying to pull that car out of a ditch, and you're only letting it sink into the swamp.
Money talks, nobody walks. All right. So you didn't grow up in New York, so you don't know. It doesn't
matter. Neither did any of these other people, except for Jeff. The rest of them, like me, don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I like the idea of it falling off the back of the truck.
Were you born around? Were you born around here, Brian?
Around here, I'm a South Jersey boy.
You're a South Jersey boy from the very beginning, huh?
Yeah. So what are you saying? Are you saying that the whole phrase "falling off the back of a truck" came from this J.G. Wentworth of a
No. But he kind of made it famous on TV because there's this big fat guy with a hard hat, and he would say, "Hey Jerry, what's the story?" And
hey, we only got 3 minutes left. Let's waste it on this. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, all right.
Go ahead.
I just your iWatch. Do you have the Cardio Mobile thing?
The what?
Where you touch it and it does your heart.
Yeah.
Does it work?
Yeah.
He touches it and he can see that his heart's still working.
Yeah.
No, it does something else.
Yeah, it actually what this watch does, and you may not have heard of this, and I really want everybody to know. I mean, it also tells time. See?
Holy moly.
Yeah, it actually has
wow. And it wasn't even made by J.G. Wentworth.
No, J.G.
It actually has a time on it, and this iPhone here, amazing. You know all the wonderful things it can do, but you can also make a phone call on it.
Yep.
Not if you don't pay your bill.
Put a quarter in it.
Huh?
You don't have to stick a quarter.
Right.
To get it
oh God, I have a memo up here that just came out. See that? If I were to go in, what does it say?
What? Oh, right.
Is that from the NRA?
No, it says NBA championship. Golden State Warriors win. That in World War III's been declared, but that's a minor story.
80,
what?
Westbound 80. Off the Bay Bridge, they're not allowing people to exit into San Francisco if you go west on the Bay Bridge.
Why?
Because there's so many crowds of people around the stadium.
Oh God.
Can't people celebrate and not affect other people that aren't in the celebration?
Yeah.
No, because they know they won't get arrested in San Francisco.
You win a game, you don't need to burn down Oakland.
No.
They got Chase Center got outdoor viewing, and then they had the indoor Chase Center. They had people in there too.
Wow.
They're saying that it takes 60 minutes to cross from the Oakland side to the San Francisco side right now.
I guess you're not going there tonight.
Oh, definitely not. Holy shit. An hour on the Bay Bridge? Think of all the gas you burn up.
Right.
Anyway. So
run out.
we did this one, and it actually worked tonight.
That's right.
And I was having glitching with my picture, which I don't have anymore, and it's terrific. It's really been very good all the way around.
5th Street, Fremont Street, 9th Street.
Okay, nobody cares. This thing goes out to the world. They don't care about Fremont Street.
If they're on the highway, they care.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Alan, you can get appliances like they just fell off the back of the truck.
We gotta have you turn down your mic a little bit next time there, Phil.
Okay.
Like off?
No. Anyway,
right.
Hey, listen, everybody. It's been nice having you here. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate it. I wanted to do this tonight with you because we couldn't do it last night. I want to thank you, Jeff, for being here. I want to thank Mr. Oh boy, I want to thank Alan. I want to thank Kevin, and of course Bathtub Brian as well. And did I tell you I'm going to see my doctor on Monday, so he can tell me about the results and what we're going to do about my,
lymph node.
Yeah. So I'm anticipating that.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'm sure I'll be fine too.
I'll correct myself as well. They do get some natural gas out of the fracking, but Not as much, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, thank you, Phil. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Brian. And thank you, Kevin. Thanks to all of you. Give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? And then I'll also wave goodbye to the audience out there. And thank you all for joining us this evening. We'll see you again tomorrow, right here. Next on this GabNet is Jack Bishop, and he does the intersection and be taking your calls on Skype at GabNet Live. I'll see you tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.